Hello students, welcome back to the second video of this playlist. So in this video we will be solving the second question from May 2024 P1 paper. So let's see what's the question number 2 is about. So basically question number 2, it's from you can say it's mixed type question, like you need both concepts from exponential and also simplifying algebraic expressions. So in order to be able to do this question, you should definitely done chapter number 1 of your P1 book. So you know chapter number 1 of your P1 book, it's basically related to simplification of algebraic terms, right? And solving Surds. These type of problems are discussed in chapter number 1. So exactly these concepts will be also found in this chapter, in this question number 2. Okay, so let's get started with question number 2. So the first part 1, they are asking, given that m equals to 2 to the power n. Okay, m equals to what? 2 to the power n. Okay, express each of the following in simplest form in terms of m. We need to express each of the following in simplest form in terms of m. So the first part, a is what? 2 to the power n plus 3. Okay, it's what? 2 to the power n plus 3. Okay, so 2 to the power n plus 3. What we can write here? Look, we need to represent it in terms of what? M. Okay, so m is what? 2 to the power n. So what we can write for number 1, part A, 2 to the power n plus 3. Okay, so this is what? 2 to the power n plus 3. Plus 3, since it is 2 to the power n plus 3, so what we can write? 2 to the power n times what? 2 cube. Fine. So we know that m equals to what? 2 to the power n. So what we can write? 2 cube is what? 8. So 8m. That's it. Done. Now next is what? Part B. What they have asked in part B, 16 to the power 3n. Okay, 16 to the power 3n. That's part B. So 16 to the power 3n. 16. So we need to convert 16 to the power 3n to 2 to the power n. So how can we do that? Look, 16. 2 cube is 8 and 2 to the power 4 is 16. So we can write 16 to the power 3n as 2 to the power 4 whole to the power what? 3n. Fine. So what we can do now? We can take 3 inside the bracket, so it will be, we can take n inside the bracket, so 2 to the power n. And what we can do? We can take 4 outside the what? We can take 4 outside the bracket. So if you take 4 outside the bracket, what will happen? 4 will get multiplied by 3. So 4 times 3, that is what? 7. So that means 2 to the power n to the power whole 7, it can be written as what? M to the power 7, since 2 to the power n is m. That's it. Okay, done. We are done with part 1. Next, part 2. Solve the equation. We need to solve this equation. What's the equation? X square root of 3 minus 3 equals to x plus square root of 3. So let's solve this equation. Okay, so for part 2, we have x square root of 3 minus 3. Okay, so in order to solve an equation, what we need to do? We need to make x the subject and take all the constants on the other side, right? So let's do that. Okay, we can take x on the right side to the left, so x square root of 3 minus x. Okay, that would be what? 3 plus square root of 3. Okay, fine. Now we can take x common because we need to make x the subject. So square root of 3 minus what? 1. So that would be equals to what? 3 plus square root of 3. That's fine. Now we need to make x the subject. So if you make x the subject, you will get 3 plus square root of 3 over what? Square root of 3 minus 1. Now we got the solution already, but there's a hint given there. We need to represent the solution in form of p plus q square root of 3. That means basically this is a concept from the chapter 1 of your P1 book. Like, you need to rationalize the denominator. Okay, because you can see that in the denominator there's what, an irrational number, square root of 3. So in order to eliminate the irrational number from the denominator, that is square root of 3, we have to square it, right? Okay, so in order to square the square root 3, what we need to do, we need to use the formula for difference of squares. Okay, so in order to make it in the form of difference of square formula, what we need to do, we need to multiply the top and the bottom by what, the conjugate pair of the denominator. So in the denominator you have square root of 3 minus 1. So what's the, what its conjugate pair? It's nothing but square root of 3 plus 1, right? So we multiply by its conjugate pair. So what you will get, okay, we need to multiply in top and bottom so that the value remains the same. Okay, like multiplying the top and bottom by square root of 3 plus 1 will not change the value of the fraction. Okay, so let's expand. You will get 3 plus square root of 3 plus 3 square root of 3 plus what, 3 over what's in the denominator. It would be square root of 3 whole square, that is 3, minus 1 square, that is 1, isn't it? Okay, now we need the value for x. So simplify, square root of 3 plus 3 square root of 3, that is 4 square root of 3. So 4 square root of 3 plus 6 over what, 2. So the value of x you would get here, that is 2 square root of 3 plus what, 3. That's it. Now they want it in the form of what, p plus q square root of 3. That means what, p is what, 3, and q is what, 2. That's it, done. This was all about part 2 of this question number 2 from P1 May 2024 paper. Fine.